you say to the team after tonight?
How proud I was of them. How this hurts, I understand. I've been through it as a player. I've been through it as a manager, and how it really needs to be the motivating factor during the winter and spring training to get better, because I believe this club can even get better. And that was basically the message.
Other questions for Joe? Billy?
What did the 4 losses here in Houston tell you about your team?
Well, I mean, there were some tough losses. We lost 2 games 2-1. You know, we were in another tight game tonight. I mean, I know people are, are going to talk about how we didn't win many games on the road. You know, there are some other teams that haven't won many games on the road either. You know, we just happened to run into, a very good team that beat us. And I would like to congratulate A.J. Hinch and the Astros. They beat us. That's the bottom line. And, there are things that we need to get better on, and that will be a focus. But, again, I'm extremely proud of this group, what they've accomplished up until this point. But I think there's more. There's more. And that's the motivating factor.
Other questions? Andrew?
Joe, you said you think there's more. Do you want to be a part of this?
I love what I do, Andrew. And I've always said the first thing that I do is I always talk to my family first. They come first. And because I think, when you have a job, I mean, your family has to buy in too. It's not just what you want out of life. It's everyone buying in. So I'll sit down and talk to my wife and my kids and see where they're at and what they're thinking, and then we'll see what the Yankees are thinking. That's not my concern right now. I mean, I've had 10 great years here. I feel extremely blessed. God has been good to me, and we'll see what the future holds.
Mark, right up front.
Joe, I know this is really fresh, but when you step back and look at where you were a year and change ago when you guys were trading everybody away, and where you are now, having gotten that 7th game of the ALCS, has this all gone quicker than you expected?
I'm sure, probably, yeah. But again, when I left spring training, I felt really good about this team. I did. And I thought, man, we're going to score runs, and that had kind of been a problem for us. And I felt good about our club and the leadership in the room. And, I can't tell you could have predicted the year that Aaron Judge was going to have, or even Gary Sanchez over a full year, missing a month. The improvements that, a lot of our guys made. But, I mean, it is pretty special how quickly they came. And, again, I really believe that there's more. And there's more talent down below that are going to continue to push people. But, I mean, it was a lot of fun to manage this group. It really was. And I'm as proud of this group as I've been of any team I've ever managed.
George.
Joe, they said on TV that CC was sick. Did that play into a factor?
We had some guys that have been dealing with colds. David Robertson's been dealing with a pretty wicked cold. It's been going around, but as our players are never going to make excuses. It happens this time of year, it seems. I know there was a flu bug in 2009 that was going around. It just seems to happen every year, but we had some guys that were under the weather, definitely.
John, to your left, Joe.
Besides the obvious, they're pitching. You think there's a reason you guys just didn't hit here in Houston in this series?
I don't know. I mean, it's again, it's a team that hasn't experienced a lot of this in a sense, and going on the road in hostile environments, and we were able to win Game 5 in Cleveland, and I felt good about us winning 1 game here. But we just weren't able to do it, and you got to give them credit. I mean, they pitched their rear ends off, and the bottom line is they beat us.
We'll take 4 more. Dave, then Joel.
Like we've said, some people from the outside that didn't expect this type of performance from you guys going this far. Is it any consolation as far as you guys made it, or does this hurt too much for
I think
losing
right
in the way
now
that you
it probably hurts too much to really think about that. Maybe as you move forward and as the winter goes on, the excitement will be there, about what this team accomplished. But, again, we fell short, and that's what hurts. I mean, there's a lot of days that go into a season, and now we have to start over, and this club has to prove itself again.
Joel.
Two things, if possible, Joe. One, you've mentioned a few times that you think there's more for this team. I realize it's so soon after the season, but what do you think is the more? Where do you think the growth is for the team?
Well, I think that there are things that we can do better. I think guys will mature, and you know, at times, you know, I think there's mental growth as well as physical growth. And the mental growth sometimes can be not trying too hard. You know, being able to control your emotions in situations. And I think, you know, a lot of times it can be tough. I mean, you get to this point, I mean, you can't imagine how bad the guys want it. And you have to learn to sometimes control your emotions. So that's growth. I think there are things that individual players can do better. And that will continue. And we will, you know, if I'm a part of it, it will be a focus.
The other thing was distinctly different, is as Yankee manager, you didn't give the ball to a starter or take a ball from the starter more than CC Sabathia. Did you have any thoughts tonight as you're taking the ball from him that this might be the last time you do that?
Yeah. CC will always be special to me because of what he stands for. And the great player that he is, the great man that he is, the wonderful teammate that he is. I mean, how he pulls a team together, I mean, he's as good as I've ever been around. When it comes to a clubhouse guy, a guy that will take the ball and, you know, when you're on a losing streak or that you can count on, and knowing it could be the possible last time. You know, I'm not saying that he won't be back, but maybe, you know, there's no guarantees for me. And I'm very thankful for the years that I've had with CC. You know, he's taught me a lot, and our players can learn a lot from CC. The kind of fighter that he is, the things that he has to overcome to be successful, the knee issues, and you know, he doesn't have the 98 in the pocket anymore, and how he reinvented himself. He's as special as it gets.
Take two more, Andrew.
You were the first one, I think, at least one of the first who mentioned Derek Jeter in association with Aaron Judge. When you look at this whole season, how would you describe Aaron's season and what you see for his future?
Well, I think his future is extremely bright. I think he had an unbelievable season. Not one that I don't think I would have predicted, you know, that he, you know, would be an MVP candidate. You know, from what we saw last year, I knew the heart was there. I knew that, you know, he had a great head on his shoulders. I knew the work ethic was there. I knew the talent was there. But, I mean, that's a lot to ask from a rookie to be an MVP type of candidate. And I think the sky's the limit for this kid. And, again, he's a natural-born leader. And that doesn't happen at an age that he's at, where people look to him, and it's already happened.
We'll finish up to your left, Joe.
To follow up on that, how much did you learn about all the young guys over this playoff run?
Well, I think you learn a lot. You know, maybe some of the averages aren't there, but that's normal. I mean, that's normal across baseball. But you look at the production that you got from an Aaron Judge and a Gary Sanchez and a Greg Bird and a Chad Green, and what Canely was able to do. Even, I know he's not a rookie, but he's an extremely young player. Just what these guys were able to do, pretty special. And to get 50-plus at-bats under your career in playoff baseball at this age, that's special.